Well, good morning. This is Jagendra Rana. The topic for our discussion today is investigation of insurance claims. Investigation of insurance claims. The general insurance industry is nowadays dealing with almost all varieties of risk by issuing various types of insurance policies and in turn receiving claims of various nature having different type of complexities in the form of claims. So out of many claims, some of them need thorough investigation work for arriving at a conclusion whether the alleged loss falls within the framework of the policy provisions, conditions, and warranties or not. So one method for carrying out an investigation case will not hold well if the same is applied on if it is applied on the another case under different policy cover. Hence, standard methods have been derived for various policies claims in this feature. So as a matter of fact, three types of hazards exist: physical hazard, the moral hazard, and the moral carelessness. In reference to loss having a detailed statistical data, physical hazard premium rates are always being decided and computed, but there is no yardstick to measure the moral hazard, and it varies from person to person, place to place as well, with the circumstances of the neighborhood. Therefore, investigation as a whole basically concerned in making a correct assessment of moral hazard of the insured, since an accurate study of moral hazard of the insured gives a clear-cut line or of action for further assessment. An investigation is not only required in theft or in burglary claim, rather basic investigation work is required in each claim so far as the assessment of moral hazard of the insured is concerned. As far as the definition of investigation is concerned, investigation can be defined in the similar manner as a systematic study of a subject with science. Similarly, a comprehensive and analytical study of a case is an investigation. Essential for an investigator is patience, pursuance, and presence. This principle of 3 P's has been designed after a thorough study of the subject, and the significance of 3 P's is summarized as follows. Patience means any sort of investigation case requires patience, since hurried action of an investigator will commit some such act which will be noticed by the person who is going to be affected, and as a result the claimant will start a counteraction. Therefore, it is desired that an investigator must have sufficient patience. कॉल है हाँ ले लीजिए Therefore, it is desired that an investigator must have sufficient patience and must not deviate from the initial findings if they are not to his satisfaction. Pursuance means investigation or investigator must keep on pursuing the case though he may not get a proper response immediately, since it has been observed that constant pursuance of the case from different angles from different persons at different levels will positively bring the desired results. Presence. At times it is desired that case in question should be left apparently unattended, but investigator is supposed to have a constant watch on the reactions of the claimant and must jot down the deviation and departure in the behavior from the standard course and must analyze the root cause of the same and should act accordingly. It's therefore suggested that while carrying out an investigation case, patience, pursuance, and presence must exist, and in absence of any one out of three P's, correct result may not be derived. So, where an investigation job is required in a claim, normally see the investigation is not only needed in theft or burglary claims, but there are occasions where it is found necessary to analyze the case comprehensively. If a loss takes place within 5-6 days from the date of commencement of insurance policy or 5-6 days are left and the expiry of the risk, then such claims are termed as close proximity claims. These two types are very different in nature. In the first one, an investigator has to look into the underwriting aspect, whereas in the second one, investigation is needed at the place of occurrence to ascertain the exact date of loss. So investigation is also needed where the assessment report of a surveyor is not found satisfactory, or the assessment of loss, maybe of a motor fire, machinery breakdown, does not correlate with the cause of loss. Investigation is of a very much importance in non-delivery marine claims and a special contingency policy claims to ascertain what those circumstances where only party has been charged for committing a fraud. It has been observed in many cases that most of the time such charges are found as a result of trade disputes, and in such circumstances insurance company has to do nothing with it. So from the perusal it will be observed that the principle of 3 P's is properly followed. Then surprising result can be obtained, which at times appear to be unbelievable. There are certain common features of investigation claims. Though each and every claim has its own merits and requires specific attention for certain points, and so is the case with claims under different types of policies. However, the basic procedure remains unaltered and can be explained in the following manner. So, for example, basic information. First of all, basic information are to be collected from insurance company and should be studied properly to decide what should be the line of action. Line of action can be of two kinds only. In case proper information are available first hand, then investigation work should be started without touching the insured, and information should be collected from concerned persons directly or indirectly, excluding the insured. An insured should be contacted in the first or in the last after ensuring that he is fixed in such a position that any material information or documents could not be altered or damaged. So in case where the first hand information are not sufficient, then insured could be contacted in a manner that insured must not get an idea about the gravity of the matter. The questionnaire given to the insured should be designed in such a manner that all important information are in hand and insured is fixed. That is, one question should be repeated at least twice, if not thrice, in a manner that correct answer from the insured comes out and could be concluded. It should be so comprehensive that after receiving the reply from the insured, he should not be left in a position to change and or alter the version or tamper important documents, books or accounts. Logbooks, bank accounts should be initiated with date. Preferably the photocopies must be obtained. So thereafter each and every document, paper as well as the contents of the insured version should be thoroughly investigated for ascertaining the correctness of the documents or version from the different sources without disturbing the insured. It is preferable that in this job some time gap is given so that insured could feel that the storm is over. In case it is not possible to give a time gap, then some queries must be raised from the insured in writing and should be designed in such a manner that the insured is exclusively engaged in the completion in the completion of the requirements of the letter, and this time must be utilized by the investigator in verifying the documents from other concerned persons. So what the report should contain? A comprehensive investigation report must be comprised of the following: introduction, basic information, case in brief, investigation procedural adapted to be decided on the merits of the case, or investigation and remarks, a special mention and conclusion. Introduction must contain all details of the authorities who have assigned the job and details of the job which has been asked to be performed. Basic information is that the insurance policy, its details from the schedule, subject matter of insurance, sum assured, date of loss, time of loss, date of FIR, fire brigade report, name of person who first noticed the loss, estimated loss as claimed by the insured. Case in brief. An investigator must explain the case in brief, including about the insured, the premises, the occurrence, sum insured and its adequacy, anomalies observed by the underwriters, line of action. The line of action step by step must be jotted down by the investigator. Investigator must mention the details of visits with date regarding the place and person he has inspected, contacted, and details of the outcome, observations, inferences drawn by him in chronological order. Without giving the details of the places and persons, the interfaces, conclusions that are of importance in the light of the insurance policy, its exclusions